Hi, hi. Come come into my Age Well leafy bower here. I'm so thrilled that you're here. We'll just give everyone a few minutes to join. I've started a minute early just to start letting people in, but I'm so excited. Say hello to me in the chat. Maybe let me know where you're from. Um, and how is everyone? How are you? I'm feeling really good. Here in the UK, the clocks have gone forward. We have sprung into spring and we have had the most beautiful sunny day. So I feel a bit kind of high on daylight. You know, sunshine is the best supplement there is. Oh, look at the chat. Everyone, oh, from Maryland, New York City, oh, NYC, my love. Hi from sunny Yorkshire. Brian from Ireland, hi Brian. Florida, Seven Oaks, oh, Winslow, oh, it's where my sister-in-law lives. Cool, what else have we got? Kentucky, Virginia, Shaftesbury. Hi Sue in the USA. Southampton, you're right. Wow, West Wales. Oh, West Wales, and it's been drizzly. I'm so sorry. Simone in Toronto. Hi, I love Toronto, one of my favorite cities. Oh, hi, Antonia. Hello, hello. Hi, Laura in Scotland. Houston, wow. Virginia, hi. And Dublin again. Wow. Okay, I'll just wait for more people arriving. That's all good. Right, and hi from Fiona in Essex. Maybe let me know, while we're just waiting a couple more minutes, let me know what your key concerns are, what your worries are around aging. Let me know what would help you to age well. Is it more clarity on what to eat, how to create healthy habits, roadmap to aging well? You know, what would help? Oh, sugar addiction, yes, I know, I was there. Yeah, oh, Austin, Texas, Philadelphia, and Colchester, Wisconsin, Pittsburgh. Wow. Hey, USA, you are really doing me proud. Creating healthy habits, exercise and nutrition. Yeah, yes, no, I know it's all about those small daily and weekly actions, isn't it? Diversity in healthy eating, okay, interesting. Nutrition for menopause and post-menopause, yeah. Hi, Patty. Hi. Keeping dementia away, yes, indeed. That is a really major concern for so many of us. Right. Motivation. Creating new friendships. Yes, that's a really powerful one. I think particularly as we're all starting to come out of this slightly weird, well, very, very weird, strange time and finding our feet again, kind of in terms of talking to people even. Yeah, it's a strange time. Yeah, consistency, right. Having me time, yes, indeed. Would more sessions like this help? You know, I love having the opportunity to talk about aging well. And I love that you're here because you want to age well too. You know, that's fantastic. You know, we have this fantastic chance to change the way we age, taking action in midlife and afterwards. It sets the scene for the second half or third, wherever we are of our lives. And the actions we take now shape and define the rest of our lives, and good health, as good as we can make it, is the foundation of all that. Healthy diet, mobility, yeah. Yeah, we should be talking about and learning about, yes, not brushing it under the carpet. We know we've got to do something. And this is a really powerful time to try and make a difference. As I say, we can change the way we age. So let's do it. Let's really make that happen. Right, how are we doing on numbers? I think we're probably just about there, maybe one more minute. Right. Okay. Ooh. Beth from Dublin. Right, okay, right, okay. So what is going to happen? I'm going to talk through some really simple strategies to make the most of the healthy eating that you're probably already trying to do or you're doing. I know everybody on these calls has a really broad range in terms of what they're doing and where they're at. But I know that you're working hard to create a life that helps you to age well. You're committed to healthy longevity. That's why you're here. You've taken action, you've shown up, and that is fantastic. So I've got some really small tweaks that will make a difference, some quick wins. I'll talk through the science behind them. There's some really new research that's come out. I mean, some of it this month, some of it's a bit older. So I want you to go away this evening with a kind of tiny toolkit to help you take aging well a little bit further, and the knowledge and the understanding of the science to help you stay on track. It really helps me to feel knowledgeable and empowered. The worst thing is fearing that we're doing it wrong. So if we've got knowledge, that really, really helps. And I want to try and get to as many of your questions as possible. If you want me to answer a question, please put it in the Q&A box, because the chat just goes past so quickly. I can't really keep up with it. I will go through it afterwards and try and answer questions either in my newsletter or on the Age Well Project blog. But in terms of questions for this evening, if you put them in the Q&A, that kind of works much better. So why am I talking to you today? Many of you will know me from the Age Well Project, the blog I've been writing for almost 7 years now with my great pal Annabelle. It's our opportunity to dive into the science of longevity and aging and curate the information that we find that resonates with us, pass it on to you. It's allowed me to turn around my life. I used to be a sugar addicted stress bunny, juggling small children, a full-time job, and a mum with dementia. And now I feel I'm doing all that I can from my own knowledge to support my health and reduce my risk of age-related disease. There are never any guarantees, but I do feel that I can do as much as I can. I'm sure you know, the success of the blog led to a book commission, also called the Age Well Project. And while we were writing the book, I realized I wanted to do more. I wanted to be able to help people overcome their own struggles with their health more directly. So I qualified as a health coach, and now I coach groups and individuals to stay on track and age well. So I'm not a doctor or nutritionist. I'm here to share what I know, what works for me, and to coach you to find what works for you. That's what I do. So if you enjoy this webinar, I'm going to tell you how you can work with me more at the end. But let's talk about the upgrades, how we upgrade our little age well tweaks. So this is the point which I have to fire up the PowerPoint. Now, last time I did one of these sessions, I got this wrong, and there were lots of angry comments in the chat saying, make it full screen. So I'm going to take it slowly. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to find my PowerPoint. Share it. I am going to go to, I'm going to play from the start. And I'm going to just hope, there we are. That looks like full screen. I'm going to get rid of me. You don't need to see me. And there you are, my lovely, pretty pink PowerPoint should be on your screen. Okay, so I'm sure if you want to age well, and you do because you're here, you know that you should be eating plenty of green leafy vegetables. Annabelle and I have been banging on about this since we started the Age Well project, and there's new research coming out about this all the time. We interviewed Professor Mia Stanford from Harvard for the book, and he was fantastic. And he's published yet another paper this month examining food, report on food consumption by 100,000 people, what's called a cohort study. And they found that eating at least 5 portions of fruit and veg a day was associated with lower risk of dying from all causes. Now, this isn't news, 5 a day, we know that, but it's a reminder that this field is so important and that research is still ongoing. There's still things coming out. And it's also a reminder of these very simple foods, getting enough day in, day out to make a difference and not skipping them. The power of vegetables to help us age well comes from antioxidants, which mop up free radicals, unpaired electrons, which bomb around in our bodies, causing inflammation and damage, kind of effectively making us rust. Antioxidants help prevent this damage, so we need lots of them. And I have only just discovered this. I can't believe I didn't know this, but every day is a school day. Postmenopausal women have fewer antioxidant enzymes because estrogen has antioxidant properties. As if we didn't have enough to deal with in menopause and afterwards. This rusting process gets worse just when we need it least, essentially, which is really not great, but there's a lot we can do. We need rich sources of antioxidants as we get older. Obviously, green cruciferous vegetables, broccoli and kale, are a great source. I'm sure you know that, because they contain compounds which react together when we chew or chop them to create sulforaphane, which is a really, really powerful substance. It's been found to extend lifespan in worms, who are surprisingly human-like in DNA terms. And research published this month on mice found that sulforaphane helps produce both the microglia, which are the brain's housekeeping team. They clear out the buildup of toxins in the brain, which can lead to the buildup of substances like amyloid, beta amyloid, linked to Alzheimer's. And sulforaphane also, as well as looking after the microglia, also protects mitochondria, which are the sort of miniature power plants in every cell responsible for energy production. They become less efficient as we age, so anything that can help them is really important. I'm sure you're eating lots of green leafy veg, but let's talk about a little upgrade. The picture is of my raw broccoli salad. You can really ramp up the antioxidant value of these foods, eating them raw. So I've been making salads like this recently, chopping them up quite small, sort of 1 centimetre, 1.5 centimetre cubed pieces, nice, robust dressing with mustard and maple syrup, letting it sit for a bit, giving it a really good stir. So you kind of bash it up a bit so it gets, so you start to kind of break it down so it can start its work making the sulforaphane. I'll put the recipe in the email I send you tomorrow with the link for the recording of this. When we cook these veg, the enzyme which triggers this conversion to sulforaphane is depleted, but we can add it back. We add a little mustard seed to our cooked vegetables, really simple. Just what I've been doing is just warming a little bit of olive oil, a few mustard seeds in there, not cooking it, just warming it, and then drizzling it over lightly steamed broccoli and kale, that kind of thing. And also been really making sure that I have a good portion. It's really easy just to have a few broccoli florets on the edge of a plate. I'm really trying to put it center stage. Like that salad I had there, I mixed with a little bit of cooked brown rice and some hummus, and that was a really good meal. So it's about taking these veg off the side of the plate and putting them in the center of the plate. The other thing I've been doing recently, I don't know if it's something that appeals, is I've been making broccoli sprouts. I don't know if you've tried sprouting broccoli, but a couple of tablespoons of broccoli sprouts have loads of sulforaphane and really powerful antioxidants. They've also been shown to improve insulin resistance, the precursor to diabetes. I'll show you my jar of broccoli sprouts at the end. I don't want to upset the PowerPoint at this stage. But I grow broccoli sprouts in a jar and put them on salads, scrambled eggs, anything like that. And apparently it's possible to increase the amount of available sulforaphane in broccoli sprouts either by freezing them and then defrosting them and eating them then, or just heating them up gently for about 10 minutes, just with some warm water. That's a good way of getting even more sulforaphane from them. So upgrade number 2. Now, I'm sure you know that omega-3 fatty acids found in oily fish like salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, eggs are good for us. You know that. The omega-3 is found in oily fish, by which I mean smash fish, which stands for salmon, mackerel, anchovy, sardines, herring, particularly important for brain health as we get older. Really, really important in reducing the risk of dementia. I know I've said that before, I cannot say it enough times, but 3 new pieces of research were published at the end of last year, pointing to other important roles that omega-3 plays in helping us age well. There was a study of women aged 65 to 80, which found that those with the highest levels of omega-3 in their red blood cells had more white matter in their brains and greater hippocampus volume. That's the bit of the brain responsible for learning and memory. The research went on to look at how pollution impacted those women's brain volume. Now, I'm sure you know pollution is not good for the brain. It's been linked to increased dementia risk and decreased brain volume. So these women who were surveyed had, the ones in the most polluted areas did have reduced brain volume, but that the impact of that pollution was lessened in those women who had the most omega-3s in their blood. So that's really important to know, because it's so hard for any of us to escape pollution. And I say that sat in my house on a main road, looking at red double-decker buses going past my window. Another recent report showed a clear link between good heart rate recovery and high levels of omega-3 in the blood. This is really important because heart rate recovery, which means the speed at which our heartbeat goes back to normal after exercise, is a strong predictor of heart attacks, and heart attacks kill a lot of people. And a third report, also published in December, so just 2-3 months ago, found that older people with higher levels of omega-3 had less muscle loss and faster walking speeds. So 3 really important risks as we age here: brain volume and pollution, heart attack risk, sarcopenia, that muscle loss, all reduced by having increased omega-3s in our blood. So we know we need plenty of omega-3, but we need it to be able to work effectively in our bodies. And for that, we need to balance out omega-3 and omega-6 ratios. Omega-6 is another polyunsaturated fatty acid found mainly in refined seed oils. It's in nearly all processed foods. They're nearly all made with refined vegetable oils, could be soybean, rapeseed oil, sunflower oil. Omega-3 is obviously harder to get because it's found in things like oily fish and walnuts. So our ratios are really out of whack. They should be between about 4:1 and 2:1 omega-6 to omega-3. But in the West, the average is around 15:1. And when we've got too much omega-6, our bodies can't process that vital omega-3 as well. So your upgrade, to get plenty of omega-3 fatty acids, yes, but also look at how much omega-6 there is in your diet. These oils, these refined vegetable oils, increase inflammation in the body, and inflammation is what ages us. We've been told for decades that things like sunflower oil are good for us because they're not saturated, which is true, but there's now so much in our diets that our omega-3 and omega-3 and omega-6 ratios are completely out of whack. When I started to kind of review this, I was really amazed how much omega-6 I had in my diet, and I thought my diet was pretty healthy, but just looking at, I say almost anything that you pick up that is you haven't made at home is going to have sort of omega-6 oils in. My daughter likes Oatly oat milk because she thinks it's quite trendy, and she likes the dark blue full fat in inverted commas one, and even that has got rapeseed oil in. So I was really surprised to find that I was actually consuming quite a lot of it, even though I don't have sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, etc. in my kitchen anymore. I don't use them. I use olive oil, which is a monounsaturated oil, so it doesn't upset that ratio with omega-3, and you can cook with it in up to regular kitchen temperatures of whatever you're doing in a domestic kitchen, unless you're deep frying at incredibly high temperatures. You can do with olive oil, and so that's my main oil of choice now. So your third upgrade. If you're trying to eat healthily, maybe following Mediterranean diet principles, or broadly just trying to eat a diet high in vegetables, low in processed foods and sugars, you probably have more polyamines already in your system, which is good. Polyamines play a role in cell growth, immune response, and they're antioxidants. Low levels of them are linked to aging and disease. And I want to talk to you about one in particular. It's called spermidine. Yes, spermidine. It's a vital polyamine found in cells throughout the body, including, yes, sperm. And as with many things, levels decrease in our bodies with age. Spermidine is important because it's been shown to help with autophagy. You may have heard me use this word before. It's a vital process, vital to good health as we get older. Literally means self-eating. It refers to the system our bodies have for burning up broken, defective cellular matter, chucking out the cellular rubbish, essentially. As we get older, more of this rubbish builds up in our cells, and the chucking out process slows down. We need to do what we can to keep it functioning efficiently, because if we don't, we get a buildup of senescent cells, dying but not dead zombie cells, which pump out inflammation. They damage other cells around them. Senescent cells are normally removed by the immune system, but once they get to a certain level, they can spread faster than the immune system can keep up. And this in turn creates a cascade effect that's so closely linked to aging that we refer to inflammaging, the two things together, inflammation and aging. One feeds the other. So we want autophagy functioning well in our bodies. And there are things we can do to help, like fasting, which I'll talk about in a bit. But there aren't many foods which help this process of autophagy. But those foods containing spermidine do. A recent research paper looked at the diets of 1,000 people aged 49 to 79 and found a lower risk of death from all causes linked to spermidine intake. This was an observational study, so there's a link. It doesn't prove causation, but other animal studies or studies with animals have shown that spermidine has anti-aging properties, probably due to its ability to induce autophagy. Mice fed supplements of it live 25% longer. Now, we're not mice and we don't want to live 25% longer, but it's an interesting piece of research. So how to upgrade if you're already working towards a healthy diet? Focus on getting spermidine in your diet, found in wheat germ, cauliflower, broccoli. Again, this is like love affair with broccoli tonight. Mushrooms, amaranth, peas, pears, soybean products such as tempeh. Now, I love tempeh. I think it's just the most fantastic food. If you haven't come across it, it's like a kind of whole grain version of tofu, in that it's, the soybeans are whole and they're fermented and packed together in a cake sort of thing, in a, well, not cake, like a solid block of these fermented beans. I'm not selling it very well. It is really delicious, really good in stir fries, or just crumble into a pan with a little bit of olive oil and garlic and spices, and just use the crumbles on vegetables or rice, or in a kind of Buddha bowl, anything like that. And so, you know, it's a good thing. We can also find it in natto, which is another soybean product which is fermented, and which I absolutely can't stand. Is the most, I think it's the most horrible thing. It's sort of sticky and so powerful, but it's such a strong flavor. But it is a really good source of spermidine. So if you're looking for something new and exotic to try, seek out natto. It's Japanese. I found it in the freezer section in Oriental supermarkets in little blocks. It's a really acquired taste, but if you want an adventure, give it a go. Good luck. It makes me very happy that spermidine is found in aged cheese. This means cheese cured in a controlled environment for 6 months at least, like cheddar, brie, parmesan, gruyere, those kind of cheeses. So do enjoy good quality cheese. There was some research published again in December linking, again, it was an observational study, but it was linking the consumption of cheese to a reduced risk of cognitive decline. And the lead researcher on that paper said that she suggested people eat good quality cheese responsibly. So eat cheese responsibly. I love that idea. It's like drink responsibly, but eat cheese responsibly, i.e. small portions of good cheese. And I have to tell you that actually wine is a source of resveratrol, another of these rare substances which helps promote autophagy in the body. So I'm not saying go out and get drunk and drink loads of wine, eat loads of cheese, but take the time to enjoy a little good quality cheese and wine if you like it, because they are good things. I think it's really important not to feel guilty about enjoying good food. You're deciding what to eat shouldn't be stressful. That's the worst thing. And I would say, don't ever feel you don't know enough. You know, I'm giving you lots of information about scientific terms and research papers, but ultimately it comes down to very simple things. You know, more broccoli, enjoying things like good quality cheese, sort of fun things like growing your own sprouts and experimenting with natto. But, you know, it doesn't have to be difficult. Knowing more doesn't necessarily bring about change. Many people get the idea that we have to know more to get better health, but actually what counts is putting quite simple things into practice, I think, day by day, week by week. So stay with me to the end and I'll explain how I can help you further to keep on track going forward. Okay, fourth upgrade I want to talk about is about intermittent fasting. In the last webinar I did on feeding your brain, about the food and eating habits which may reduce our risk of dementia. Hopefully you were there, you may have heard it. And when I talked about intermittent fasting and asked who was doing it, so many people were doing it and had very well established protocols for fasting, 16 hours a day or 12 hours a day. Many were doing longer fasts, sometimes two. I was really surprised and impressed. So quick recap if you're a newbie, and there's no shame in that. I talk about intermittent fasting a lot because there's some really robust evidence linking it to aging well. What I'm essentially talking about is extending the gap between meals and not snacking. And that's essentially intermittent fasting. It's been shown to aid weight loss, control blood sugar, fire up the process of autophagy, and our body burns through the cellular detritus and uses it for fuel. You sort of uses up the rubbish, essentially. What I'm really talking about is time-restricted eating. That's another term for it. I think it's a really powerful tool for aging well, but I must stress it's not for everyone. I certainly wouldn't recommend it for teens, for young people, if you're very hormonal, and if you're going through perimenopause, for example, I would tread very carefully. You know, I've had one-to-one coaching clients at that stage of life, and they found fasting doesn't work. You should be aware that women are much more likely than men to find that fasting impacts their hormones and stress levels. There's some evidence that fasting can raise cortisol for some women more than men. And hormones, which regulate functions like ovulation, metabolism, and mood, are very sensitive to energy intake, so likely to be disrupted by a long fast. So that's just something to be aware of when you're thinking about if intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating is right for you. I do think most people can probably cope with a 12-hour window of not eating, and if you're concerned about hormones, you think about when that window might be. It might be a case of eating a little earlier in the evening, having a chance to rest and digest before bed, and then having a normal breakfast, if that's what you need. I now eat later in the mornings. I have my breakfast kind of at least mid-morning, but that might not work for you. I just want to make that clear. But what I think is really important, if you're following a time-restricted eating protocol in any form, or you're thinking about it, is really considering what you eat when you go in and out of that fasting window. So if it's something that you're thinking about or you're doing, just like you to really focus on what you eat going in and out of your fast. You're thinking about getting a good balance of protein, healthy fats, whole grain or vegetable carbohydrate, because then you don't end your fast by filling up with lots of refined carbs or sugary food because you feel you've earned it or you're starving. You shouldn't really be absolutely starving at the end of the fast or go so long that you're desperate for food. Some very recent research linked eating refined grains like white flour to increased risk of cardiovascular disease and higher levels of LDL, inverted commas, bad cholesterol. So just be aware that fasting isn't an excuse just to eat anything, just because you've kind of gone through this period of not eating. And similarly, making sure before you start your fast, you're eating a good blend of healthy fats, proteins, something starchy. That will help you feel full for longer. You don't eat half a packet of biscuits and then think, oh God, I need to fast. That's what's different. That's what makes it really difficult and hard. And it's very easy to come out of a fast and overeat. I've done it. It's just sort of regulating that and balancing it and making sure you get lots of water, because if you're not eating during that fasting window, you're not getting any water from the food you digest. So I find I get very thirsty. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And if you are doing longer fasts, research it carefully, work out what's right for you. You may need to reintroduce solid food gently. It's maybe something you need to work on with a nutritionist or a doctor. Just do what feels right for you. Now, I know you're here because you want to do everything you can to age well. You're eating veg, you're getting whole grains probably, but there's a question I want to ask you actually too. Are you getting enough protein? And is that protein providing you with all the right nutrients? In my recent Eat Well to Age Well evening class, quite a few of the attendees realised they were lacking protein, and that's something we worked together on in the course. And I want to talk to you about a nutrient which often comes with protein intake and which you may not be getting enough of. It's called choline. It's an essential nutrient which plays a role in DNA synthesis, the production of neurotransmitters involved in memory, it's involved in cell structure, cholesterol transportation, all things absolutely vital if we want to age well. Deficiencies of choline are rare, but there is a big difference between a true deficiency and getting optimal levels. And for us post-menopausal women, estrogen helps the body produce this nutrient. So post-menopause, as the estrogen drops off, we are more likely to have low levels. Again, bad news for some of us, but the good news is we can do something about it. I have to admit, I couldn't find a recommended daily intake in the UK for choline, but in the US, it's 550 milligrams per day for men, 425 for women, which is quite a lot when you consider that an egg, which is a really good source, has 110 milligrams. So think about where your choline is coming from. Other good sources, I know lots of people go, liver, yuck, yuck, but actually chicken or beef liver, a small portion, about 70 grams, provides over half the RDA of choline. Salmon and cod are also good sources. There are plant-based sources, mushrooms. There's a new report published this month which highlighted their choline content. Tofu, soybeans again, quinoa, broccoli, cauliflower, peanuts, beans. It is more difficult to get enough choline from plant sources. A cup of cooked quinoa has 43 milligrams. So if you're vegetarian or vegan, you do think about your sources. It's harder to get all the nutrients you need to age well if you don't eat fish or meat. Doesn't mean you can't, it just means that you need to work a little bit harder, and I'm sure you do if you follow those eating patterns. But you do need to work a little bit harder to get all the nutrients you need. and choline is one of those. So let's look at our upgrade. What's in our toolkit? Sorry. What are our little tweaks and upgrades? So if you're working on healthy eating, you're going to look at upgrading to make sure you're getting some spermidine, peas, beans, aged cheese, wheat germ. You're going to look at the balance of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Have a look at where omega-6 is coming from in your diet. The answer is possibly everywhere. If you're trying to get enough antioxidants, consider focusing on sulforaphane, raw broccoli, cooked broccoli, broccoli sprouts, and all other cruciferous vegetables. Think about getting them into the center of the plate, not just around the edge. If you're thinking about intermittent fasting, work out if it's right for you hormonally, and think about upgrading the meals going in and out of your fast. If you're thinking about your balance of nutrients, make sure you're getting choline. Think about the sources of it in your diet, be that eggs, liver, fish, soya, quinoa, etc. So how does all that sound? All things you can put into practice in your own life. But if you do, will you stick with it? What will it take for you to stay on track with aging well? I'd like to invite you to join my Eat Well to Age Well evening class. If you're finding this webinar interesting and it's resonating with you, you're taking notes, then I can support you to go further and create an age well life for yourself. In the course, I've really distilled how I live, all the research I've done over a decade really, and the path I've coached my one-to-one clients along. But this is a group experience, so it's cheaper than one-to-one. And also I think there's power in the group. There's a really sort of supportive network that comes from being in a group with other people. And I think that really helps. So this course is for you if you want to create a way of eating that gives you healthy longevity, that makes sense in your own life, that's tailored to you, and you want to do it in a warm and supportive space. It's absolutely not a diet. I hate diets, but it's about taking control of your own health and nutrition. I give you the tools and support and scientific knowledge to make your own decisions about how to eat, so you feel empowered. And I'm with you every step of the way, giving you feedback, answering your questions, and coaching you to create your own age well way of eating. So it's a group coaching program. It's a proper live evening class. We gather once a week for 6 weeks via Zoom. Each session is 75 minutes long. So there's lots of time to answer your questions, give you the support you need. We talk about the science of aging, what's happening in your body as you get older. We start to look at nutrition, how you can think about what's on your plate, how you plan meals. We look at sugar, carbohydrates, beating cravings, working out what's best for your body. We talk about why we shouldn't fear fat and how your lifestyle off the plate is impacting what you eat. We do talk through fasting, what works, what doesn't. We look at what we should and shouldn't be drinking to age well. We talk about gut health, the role of fiber in our lives, getting our families on side, planning meals for whatever your lifestyle is, whether you're on your own, in a couple, whether you've got a family to feed as well. And we talk about protein, we talk about supplements, and most importantly, it's staying on track. You get fact sheets, plans, trackers, and you get all the individualized support you need. You get full access to me all the time. I set you tasks, I mark your homework if you want me to. I think the attendees on the last course would say that was really helpful. I hold you accountable. I'm always available for emails and WhatsApp, all sorts of things. I had the most amazing group of women on the last course. They said some really nice things, which I've put on the PowerPoint, about having more energy, sleeping better. Susan is very generous with her time. That made me feel very happy, because I do try and put so much time into supporting everybody as they go through the course between the sessions. But I think probably the most important thing that the attendees on the last course found was that doing it over 6 weeks helped give them headspace to focus on looking after themselves, taking control of what they ate, making dietary changes for the years ahead. So the details. The link is there. I'll put the link in the chat when I finish the PowerPoint. We start on Monday, the 19th April, 7 p.m. BST for 6 weeks, 75 minutes a session. If you're in the UK, we'll be done before all the lockdowns fully finished. So that would be good. Everything's recorded. So if you can't make that date and time for whatever reason, you get all the access. You can do the course in your own time. You still get all the input from me. You could treat it just completely like a digital course and not come. And certainly in the last one, people had work commitments, childcare commitments and things, and either dipped in and out or just didn't come at all, but still got the recordings and all the paperwork and then all the support from me. So if you're interested, do take action. I had a waiting list for this course, so places are starting to fill up. The price is £150. It's a bit reduced at the moment for those who get on it quickly. I haven't set a limit on the size of the class, but as I do spend a lot of time between sessions supporting you, I might need to think about whether I need to do that. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I will just have to see how it goes. Any questions about the course, pop them in the Q&A box. I will stop sharing my screen now. There we go. Let me just, let me just give you the link. Is that right? There we are. That's the link. If you want to find out more about the course, that's the link. There you go. £150 US dollars. I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know the exchange rate at the moment. Drop me an email or and we'll work that out. Can I just show you my broccoli sprouts? I'm really proud of these. It's a particularly nice looking batch. That is $206. There you go. That is 5 days worth, and that was 1 tablespoon of broccoli sprouts in this little jar, which is called £150 for the 6 weeks, all the access to me, all the handouts, fact sheets, everything, all included. So anyway, these are my broccoli sprouts, which I'm very proud of. So I'll be eating a couple of tablespoons of them every day, and I'll freeze some actually and see how they work once they're frozen. So, and this little jar is called a Bio Snacky. I think I bought it online, or possibly in Whole Foods or Planet Organic, somewhere like that. And it's quite simple, and it's quite satisfying to grow your own sulforaphane. I feel quite good about that. That feels quite empowering. A Bio Snacky, yeah, that's it. A Bio Snack, that's what it's called. I think it's one word. I think it's German. I think they're a German brand. I don't know if they're available in the States and Canada, but there must be something. I think they've been around for years. I suspect they are. I can't see the link. Let me try it again. Hold on. There we are. Just have a look in the chat. It's in the chat. There we go. Okay, and actually just before I go on to your questions, I do like to do a giveaway at the end of my webinar, or towards the end of my webinar. So I've got 3 copies of the Age Well plan here. this is my scruffy copy, but I've got 3 brand new copies to give away. So let me tell you how to do that. Let me just find the, so will I post how to make it? I will try. Yes, I'll try. I'll put it in the email tomorrow. Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, but yes, yeah, it's quite straightforward. It's quite straightforward. It's quite fun. Okay, I was just looking at your book online. Well, you can win a copy, Christy. Let me just share my screen again. Hold on. Where is it? There we go. There's course details. There we go, win a copy. All you have to do, email book in the subject line to hello@susansaundershealth.com. And I will run a prize draw over Easter weekend. So yeah, just email book hello@susansaundershealth.com and hopefully you'll win a book. Right, okay, let me have a look at your questions. What's in the Q&A? Oh, and I also had some questions that were sent in advance. Very efficient people who sent me questions in advance, like Nikki, who said, I'm allergic to mushrooms. So I'm really sorry, I've talked a lot about mushrooms and choline, but there are lots of other sources of choline, so that's fine. But our point about mushrooms is that I'm frustrated that I can't work out what to use in recipes instead. And I think the thing about mushrooms, and that they end up in a lot of recipes, is that they bring a lot of fibre and body to dishes. As vegetables go, they're quite meaty, aren't they? And they have this sort of clear texture. So I would think try something else that's quite substantial, like sun-dried tomatoes or aubergine or chickpeas, new potatoes, roast cauliflower, which is a cruciferous vegetable, so good for the old sulforaphane. All those things have got lots of fibre and body in them. And Elizabeth asked, do I have a top 5 foods list that's an absolute must for improving aging? And yes, I do. I have a lot. So if I had to pick 5 kind of for a mythical desert island, I would say oily fish for brain health. I'm really evangelical about that. Berries, especially like blueberries, for the anthocyanins, which have been shown to help reduce dementia risk. Those are the polyphenols that give berries that very dark colour, so you have blackberries, blueberries, blackcurrants, all that kind of thing. That dark colour is really good for us. Green leafy veg, cruciferous vegetables, as I've already talked about, for that sulforaphane and many other nutrients, antioxidants. I think I'd have to have something fermented in my desert island foods, maybe kimchi or kefir, and dark chocolate, definitely be in my desert island. Again, it's got lots of antioxidants, fibre, protein, all sorts of extraordinary. Sorry, the name of the book again is The Age Well Plan. And the email address is let me put it in here, hello@susansaundershealth.com. Just send me, there you go, just send me an email with hello or book, anything in the subject line. I'll know what it's about. With regards to fish like herring and sardines, do you have to eat fresh? No, tin sardines are absolutely the bomb. You can buy them for a few cents, whatever, and they're brilliant and fantastic. And if I do nothing else, let me convert you to tin sardines. And Elizabeth also asked, are there any other drinks other than water I consume on a regular basis? I drink green tea, I drink black tea with milk because I'm British. I drink coffee 2 or 3 times a week. I'm quite caffeine sensitive, but I know coffee is has lots of age-well properties. If I had to pick one drink, it would be green tea, I think. It's packed with antioxidants. The active compound is EGCG, which is linked to a wide variety of health benefits, everything from reducing cognitive decline, helping with arthritis, very, very powerful. And then, okay, any advice about helping to look after the pancreas? I have a few issues with mine. I've heard that bitter foods help. Okay, right, and that was Marianne in Dublin. Hi, Marianne. Now, I can't give medical advice on a specific ailment. That's beyond my scope of practice. But it's my understanding that bitter foods are linked to pancreatic health, but I say that's not my scope of practice. But actually, we should all be eating more bitter foods because they do help with the production of digestive enzymes, and our bodies are primed to seek sweet foods. So we tend to sort of try and swerve the bitter foods a bit, but actually they're really worth having in our age well diet. Cruciferous vegetables I've talked about this evening, kale, rocket, dandelion leaves, if you ever see those in a market, whatever, cranberries, not sweetened, cocoa, chocolate, cacao, and it's actually really bitter till we add in all the sugar and the cream and stuff. Coffee, of course, and green tea is bitter. Question from Barbara about intermittent fasting. Is it better for the body to do 12-12 every day or 14-10 once a week? So 14 hours of fasting, 10 hours eating window. I think the most important thing is to do what works for you, what is not uncomfortable, what feels comfortable, what you can fit into your daily life. Giving your body the chance to rest and digest is the most important thing, and then see where you can take it from there. If you can do a longer fast, then great. That obviously the benefits increase if you leave it longer. And what do you eat after fasting? Well, I've talked about that. It's about you having good quality, balanced meals going in and out of your fasting windows, and then if you're doing longer fasts, thinking about how you need to manage that, whether you do need just liquid or something very simple and easy to eat. Okay, let's see what's in the chat. Is garlic good to eat? Yes, garlic's amazing. Okay, what is the omega-6 and omega-3 ratio? So that is the amount. We get a lot of omega-6. It's in almost everything that's processed. It's in olive oil. It's in lots and lots of different things, and it's very accessible to us. Whereas omega-3 is less accessible. So ideally, we would like to have a ratio of 4 to 1 or less. Say 4 to 1, so 4 portions of omega-6 to 1 of omega-3. So in our body, so that doesn't mean go and have like 4 lots of sunflower oil and then eat a piece of salmon. It just means that we have a lot of omega-6 anyway. So actually the focus needs to be on getting enough omega-3 and looking at how much omega-6 is coming into our diets all the time. How long do you steam broccoli? Not very long, as little as possible to get to keep the health benefits and to keep a high amount of sulforaphane. Coconut, yes, coconut's good. Coconut oil is good. The thing with coconut oil is it's a saturated fat, and some people have issues with that. That sort of depends on your health and where you are with saturated fat. But a lot of people can tolerate it, and it is it's a good fat, and it's good for cooking with because it has a high heat point. So will I be sharing slides and some info with the participants? Do you mean on the course? Yes, yes, definitely. I like to mix my teas. Oh yes, I do that. I mix green, and also I mix green tea with Tulsi tea, which is holy basil tea, which is meant to be good for cognition. I haven't done a lot of research into that, but it is meant to be good. Right, let's have a look at the Q&A. Eggs considered good for us? Yes, yes. Hopefully, I've covered that off. Oh, Nikki, I answered your question. Is a copy of the PowerPoint presentation available? No, I'll send you a link to the whole recording tomorrow. Right, okay. Do I recommend organic soy milk? I would just look at the ingredients and see whether it's got lots of added oil. How do I feel about butter and dairy? I don't have a huge issue with butter and dairy. It's about quantity, and it's about what else is in your diet and how much saturated fat you're getting. And it seems that your body responds differently to according to what you eat saturated fat with. If you have butter on broccoli, that's one thing. If you have butter in a cake, that's another. Our body seems to process it differently. A little butter, dairy, yeah, I have those things. I don't have a huge problem with them. I tend to, when I have dairy, it tends to be fermented. So that's kefir or plain yogurt. Can you take the course in the US? Yes, yes, of course. Of course, I had a lady who was in Canada on the last course. Yes, and I think it translates to, do you say $206? Yes, it just means if you come live, it's kind of your afternoon, but that's great. But you can do the course anyway. You don't have to come live. You can treat it, as I say, as a digital course. How does HRT sit with your values? Interesting. I think that I think my view on the menopause generally, and the Age Well Project is not really about the menopause, it's about forever, wherever you are now to the end of your life. And we always say we hope that if you're going through menopause, that's a hurdle that's part of a long life and a long and healthy life. And I think do whatever it is that you need to get through that hurdle. Research it really well, talk to your doctors. It may be right for you, it may not. I don't know. But I would say do whatever it is that you need to get through it so you can kind of get back to a full, healthy life that you enjoy and that you feel good. I think that that's really the most important thing when tackling the menopause. Is it okay to drink water while fasting? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would never recommend something which meant you didn't drink water. I think that's really important. What is a good breakfast? That's a good question. A good breakfast is something which balances, that gives you some healthy fat, it gives you some protein, and it gives you some sort of high fiber carbohydrate that's going to fill you up. So that could, my favorite breakfast, my Age Well breakfast, which is in both the books, is what I call my Age Well breakfast pot, which is a couple of tablespoons of oats and a tablespoon of chia seeds soaked overnight, either in water or oat milk or kefir, and then I add some cinnamon, and then I leave that in the fridge overnight, and then the next day I add berries, so I'm getting my anthocyanins, and anything else I fancy, might be some walnuts or something on top. That's balanced. Eggs, great breakfast, means you're getting the choline, maybe with some whole grain toast or spinach, mushrooms. that kind of thing. That makes it, you know, a really good filling breakfast. You know, if I have a breakfast like that, sort of mid-late morning, I feel I don't need much lunch. I just, you know, have a good snack, and then that will take me through to dinner. You know, anything with porridge, but I make sure that there's a little bit of protein in there, a bit of yogurt or nuts or something like that, and that you're getting some fat with that. So it's kind of rounding up all the breakfast. So any more questions? Anything else in the chat? No. Okay. Okay. I will send you tomorrow this recording. I'll send you my broccoli recipe and some notes on how I sprout my seeds, my little seeds here. And you know, any other questions, you can always drop me a line, hello@susansaundershealth.com. And if you want to win the book, then just send me an email at that address, hello@susansaundershealth.com. Put book in the subject line. That's all you need to do. And if you're interested in the course, drop me a line, or you go ahead, sign up. The link will be in the email tomorrow. Hopefully you've got that in the chat as well. And thank you so much. You know, I love talking to you, and I genuinely love that you turn up and you ask questions, and that you're doing what you can to age well. I think that's just the most important, you know, that's the most important thing. And I know some of what I say is quite simple, like eat more broccoli, but actually eat more broccoli several times a week, and you're making a real difference to your health. So thank you so much. Oh, I've just booked the course. Oh, thank you so much, Janet. That's really exciting. And I hope to see lots of you on the course. And when we start again on April the 19th. Oh, purple sprouting broccoli for supper. Yes, absolutely. Love that. Fantastic, fantastic food. And oh, Kenya. Oh, thank you, Irene, for being here. I love Kenya, a very, very beautiful country. Yeah, good luck. Enjoy your dinner or lunch or wherever you are. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, it's breakfast. Have a good breakfast. Stay in touch. I'm always here to support you, whatever I can do. As I say, for me, it's really about helping you age well. I hope to see you on the course, but if not, I'm always here to answer questions. So take care, age well. Thank you for being here. Bye, 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 bye.